Hi babes, how are you? If you're new, hi, welcome. My name is Michelle and this is yes another celebrity tarot in a way. I had a DM last night that somebody wanted me to read about the submarine and what really went down, so we're gonna see what the universe and Lilith has. I want to remind you guys that my readings are no date. They are divinely guided. Everything has free will. Not everything is going to resonate with everybody. Please keep in mind that the roles could be reversed here in between energies, and as I always say around no daycare, you guys should know that this is entirely general and these readings are exclusively for entertainment purposes only, as well as everything said and mentioned throughout the whole video is allegedly. Okay, so with it said, let's move forward. Let's see what the universe and Lilith has about this topic. Also, for those who don't know, I am on Spotify. I post daily podcasts for anybody interested. If you want to follow me there, I will highly appreciate it. The link is going to be in the description box below, as well as in the comment section. It's going to be always pinned by me. So let's see. So we got the Hierophant in reverse, the Sun in reverse, the Two of Pentacles, the Page of Cups in the reverse, the Four of Rods, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, the Death card, the Hangman over all energy, and the Three of Pentacles. And Temperance. So we got Sagittarius, Leo energy, Taurus energy, Pisces energy, Scorpio energy, and Virgo energy. So it says right here that a lot of obviously regulations were overlooked. Also, allegedly a lot of like the inspection of that was overlooked. It seems that allegedly some other people, before they jumped into this what they consider an adventure, were told, they were notified that this submarine that they were creating was not safe to go that deep, that it was not safe, and that they shouldn't have never started the let's charge people to see. Allegedly they said, hey, we need to test this, and this was somebody who maybe not necessarily from the team, but somebody that knows a lot about boats and submarines, and they actually invited to go see. This is allegedly all before all this happened. Of course, they invited this specific person who seems to be an older man with like white gray hair or a white beard. I do see that somebody who's older, who happens to know a lot about that kind of like submarines and boats and whatnot, the marine life perhaps. But it says like they invited this person. This could be months prior, weeks prior, the expedition or whatnot. And this person said, hey, this is not good to go. This is not something that I will try or I will consider trying to anybody or in any way, shape, or form. Allegedly, this person told them like, hey, you know, like, you should not do this. You should actually just fix it. Allegedly, this person allegedly mentioned to the CEO and the people involved in that construction that the materials were not accurate. The materials were not okay, because they were actually like allegedly what he considered cutting corners just to make this something cheaper and faster, even though that they had the money. But allegedly they didn't want to wait, and they wanted to started because of summer. You know, people who allegedly people who would have the money want to jump into that. And when the Two of Pentacles, allegedly whenever this was brought into the board, allegedly they said, you know, it's 50-50. There's a big chance that this may never happen. At the same time, they said, you know, we spend all this money, and it's like they overlook a lot of things. Hold on. So as any company, you know, companies often see things as numbers, as money, as gain, as loss, and they allegedly don't even consider the other 50%. So they say, you know what, it's just 50%, let's give it a try. Allegedly they did try multiple times, but the fact that this person mentioned allegedly was that, hey, because of the materials you chose, it doesn't mean that they're gonna collapse or implode in the first day you toss it in the ocean. This could happen on the second, third, fourth, fifth, you know, whatever. Like, this will happen eventually. The thing is, like, this is a ticking bomb. We don't really know allegedly when it's going to happen, but there is a huge possibility that it will be happening. So allegedly, they took that as a small possibility, the board did allegedly, and that's why they still went for it, and that's why they still continue with the situation and promoting it. With the Page of Cups and the reverse right here, allegedly they did not listen, they did not care, they did not listen, because it's like, you know, ups and downs. What they did was allegedly contact some lawyers and created a waiver that could bring the possibilities and the warnings that this person allegedly brought it to their attention. The lawyer allegedly of the company said, hey, just put it on paper and put it on a waiver, and if people read it and they go for it, that's that. Because sadly, we all know, has been on the news, has been on TikTok, that there was a very intense waiver who was very clear, but also that sounded super fishy, and allegedly these people went for it after seeing all the death that was mentioned on this paper. So at this point, that's what they did. Instead of like allegedly fixing and making it better so they saved people's life and prevented things from happening, they felt like, let's just make the waiver and that's that. So allegedly right here, a lot of people were not okay with this. Allegedly, a lot of people that were working in there were not okay. Allegedly, a lot of people brought concerns, safety concerns. That's why a lot of like the team, not every single one of them allegedly, but a lot of the teams did not want to get in there because they were safety concerns, that it was more like a ticking bomb, that they didn't know where and when it could happen. They just knew it could happen, they just didn't know when. So allegedly a lot of the team did not want to go in there. So this was a problem allegedly since from the get-go. Okay, allegedly a lot of people brought into the attention. Some people allegedly got fired, other people just kept quiet because they were afraid that they were going to lose their job, right? But this was a suicide mission since day one, since they put those people in that little tank. Okay, with the hangman right here, allegedly they were not prepared. They were not prepared for that. They needed a lot more of equipment. There was allegedly money, but allegedly the board did not want to spend it. So that's what happened. Like they wanted to do something risky on a cheaper, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. That just, it's not like that. You know, with a big power comes big responsibility. Either or you do it correctly or you just don't do it, right? And this is the common sense most of us has. And you will think allegedly that a board, somebody with power will have it, but they just see numbers, you know? And also allegedly they were promising things without really having the technology, allegedly. So at this point, they had to come, like, it seems right here that this thing was also allegedly funded by other people with money. So they were promised multiple times that this was going to get done a certain year, a certain month. And because allegedly they were trying, things were not working. That's why they're like, you know what, let's cut corners, let's do this, let's do that, and let's make it happen by 2023, 2022, 2021. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it said like they were just making promises out of like something that's past their technology, you know. So at this point, that's why they did it. Allegedly they were not ready, they were not prepared. This was built very quickly, very irresponsibly, allegedly. With temperance right here, they needed patience, they needed to take more time, they needed to really test this out, but they just didn't want to. With the Four of Pentacles right here, the person allegedly who funded and people behind the board and the company was like, you know what, we are not going to give more money, we're not going to waste more time, we're going to get it done, and whatever happens, just get in the waiver, and whoever decides to sit down is pretty much being like, you were like, the people that got into that tube allegedly was really like testing the waters. It's like pretty much like a lab rat, you know what I'm saying? Like they're putting you in there to see how it happens. They're promising you something, but promises based on expectations. Allegedly, yes, they went down a couple of times, but like I said before you say, oh, but they went, listen with your ears, use your ears, clean the wax out of your ear. As I said before, going back to what I just said, the person told them that allegedly this is not the material for this is risky. This person didn't even work there. This is a person that knows something, that was invited previously, before all of this went down, invited to see it and to sit down in there, and they say, hey, do you want, it's gonna be free. They were not gonna charge this person allegedly. It was just for for this person to try it, okay? Because allegedly this person has a lot of influence. And as soon as he allegedly, an older he, saw it and saw a lot of things, he's like, no, I'm not getting in here in a million years. Allegedly, he said, I'm not gonna get any friends, nobody, you shouldn't either. But they took it as like, oh, he's just being a hater, you know. So at this point, the board went for it regardless of all this, and there was employees that were concerned too. But allegedly, they were too greedy. They wanted money. They wanted to get funded. They wanted to retrieve some money that they haven't spent, like spend it. The rich people that allegedly was funding it too, because, you know, it was going to be multiple trips after that. With the 4 of Cups in the reverse right here. The CEO was worried. Allegedly, the CEO, the one that sadly and unfortunately passed away also, he was also worried with water sign. I see a lot of Taurus with Capricorn, and this is a representation of earthy matters, which translates to properties and money as well. So I do see that this was all because greediness, money. They didn't care. They didn't care about allegedly human life. They care about the money. So allegedly, the CEO was also worried, but he like brushed it off. It's like whenever you have your gut feeling, you should never ignore. You always go with your gut. And allegedly, he was like, he and other people were talking to him, and it's like, don't worry, don't brush it off, and that. Allegedly, oh my goodness. So they were very stuck with Capricorn energy into showing it off to the world, like fulfilling some other third party's wishes, and this was a problem since the get-go. This allegedly should have never been dropped in the water. This should have never ever this kind of project, it says right here that it would have taken years for it to perfect. So allegedly, this kind of artifact or thing should have been out, let's say, around like in 2035. So not 2025, no, 2035. So they allegedly needed like up to 10 years to perfect this, because there's a lot of things that they didn't have, especially that kind of material that they were using. Allegedly, they cut corners to fulfill people's wishes, and look at what they got. Like, this is like, what else can you tell me, Mother Lilith? The King of Swords in the reverse, the 2 of Cups in the reverse. So we got Air, Libra specifically, Aries, and Taurus, and the world, which is all the elements. So it says right here that allegedly, so they were not really sure this was gonna work out, and they still went for it. There's currently people who have a lot of guilt, you know, allegedly. I do feel right here that this was, again, irresponsible. Of course, we all know that. We can all agree to that. But allegedly, the things that they were overlooked purposely just to gain some money was, it's supreme to me that somebody will overlook such important things. Allegedly, now the world sees them in a different light. Allegedly, they're gonna lose some business, of course. Not everybody is going to want to be related to that. This allegedly some investors that are gonna try to get their money back. Allegedly, the family of the people who passed away, maybe some will try to sue the company, but unfortunately it's not gonna go far, because the people who went in there, they signed a legal waiver into agreeing that they couldn't sue the company. I do feel that this is there's no win-win scenario here. This is a very sad tragedy, and it's super sad. It's super sad because people were there to have fun, and they're gone forever now. This was a mistake that could have been avoided if it was done properly, but allegedly because this company wanted to cut, they want to do shortcuts. Look at what happened. What happened to that submarine? Mother Lily, can you tell me what happened exactly? Allegedly there was fear. Allegedly there was fear. There was fear. Allegedly, let me see. Allegedly there was fear because allegedly when they started dropping, the submarine was making sounds, and there was allegedly some lights going on and off, like making, like, even if you don't know enough about boats, you know what an emergency could look like. And the crew that was in there, they realized things went wrong quickly because they lost contact, and allegedly because there was like sounds of creaking, like making sounds, and there was a lot of lights going off, and they started noticing allegedly the captain was quite nervous, and that he was like allegedly trying to do a lot of things, and it seemed like he didn't know what he was doing. And it's not that he didn't know what he was doing, it's just like he was doing everything in his power allegedly to figure it out and to fixing stuff, but it was like not working. So he kind of looked lost, but it's because allegedly he was worried. He knew that things were not going as smoothly as they should have, because allegedly, again, they had been there before, and that situation did not happen. So allegedly he knew that things were bad really quick into being dropped. Like, again, I'm not saying 2 minutes into it, but it was kind of quick, consider that they were supposed to descend all the way, you know. So allegedly, the people that were there started noticing that he was allegedly panicking a little bit. Allegedly, they did ask questions, but he said, "No, don't worry, this is fine. Don't worry, I got it. This happens." But it seems right here that people started picking up that he was like struggling to fix something. Allegedly, they were asking questions. And keep in mind that you may say, well, it says that this imploded. Like, yes, it did implode, but it did implode like 2 seconds within. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like after they got to a certain level of water. So when they were descending to that level until they imploded, right before that happened, things were quickly going wrong. And the fact that allegedly that thing got like cut communication right away, it was super like alarming for everybody. There was like worry, but I wouldn't say like it was panic. Allegedly, it was like people like, is it okay, what's happening? And allegedly they started getting worried because the captain was not answering. He was saying like very general answers, and where people, like, you know, there was adults in there, were actually noticing that allegedly things were not going that smoothly, and they said, you know what, let's go back up. But again, this is what allegedly happened. So I did feel that there was panic. For a minute, the captain tried his best to fix the issue with no success, of course. Allegedly, right here, the captain knew right away that if this was not fixed immediately, they could have passed. And he tried to play it cool. Allegedly, he tried to keep everybody as calm as he could, but allegedly it was hard to not show the worry in his face. Allegedly, the people, especially the adults, they realized that, oh, this was a mistake. I shouldn't have never been in here. I regretted it. Allegedly, there was this could be a slightly comment of like, oh, we're gonna get refunded or something, because again, he tried to get back up and things were going so badly. So allegedly, it's like they said, you know, like they started realizing that it was a mistake. And it says like their death was super quick. Yes, it was super quick. Allegedly, they were talking, and this is when he was explaining something, right? But it happened so quickly that, again, allegedly was painless. But while, you know, before that happened, they were talking, and then it imploded right here. Especially the little younger kid was the most afraid. He allegedly was saying like, hey, I should have never been in here. I didn't want to be here anyways. And sadly, that, yes, we all know what happened, but it seems right here that the captain realized that things went wrong as soon as before they like a couple meters before they descend to that number that imploded it, he knew that allegedly that could have been a possibility, and that's why he was panicking, because he didn't want that to happen. He tried his best to keep it cool, but people in there knew that things were wrong, and the fact that they couldn't scream, they couldn't do anything. So they were actually creaky, like like I don't know how the sound is, I'm so sorry, but anyways, it was creaking. And he was saying like, oh, don't worry, it's the water pressure. But it got like super loud allegedly before they imploded, and that's when everybody knew what was wrong, when he was freaking out, and he tried his best to dump as much weight to go back up, but it's like they continued to descend, and they were not getting back up soon enough, and they hit that pressure, and they couldn't take it, and it was super quick. They were actually, unfortunately, they were like a little worried, but because they were not sure what was happening, because allegedly the captain kept it as much as he could to himself, because allegedly he was hoping that he could, go back up. But and also allegedly he noticed a little bit sooner, but people said, no, we paid for this, they really wanted to have that experience. So allegedly he just waited as much as he could until he realized like, no, this is too dangerous, let me just drop everything and try. But at that time allegedly was too late, and they imploded, unfortunately. But again, it was painless. They were a little bit concerned, but it was not panic or anything, because again, the captain was that was the most worried. So at this point, rest in peace. But yeah, that's allegedly what happened and how things happen right now. Let's see what is in the future for that company now. What is the future of this company now? What could they expect? So they kept the money. There's going to be a lot of like backlash, of course. Allegedly, some families are going to try to sue them or, prevent them from stuff. And it seems like justice allegedly is going to be served with Libra energy. There's going to be some sort of like, this company could shut down. Allegedly, the board or the people who were in charge are going to get fired, and allegedly they could get charged for negligence. Allegedly, there could be a little investigation of how they handle things, and a lot of things could come to light, allegedly. And once again, they could actually maybe, sadly, they may not be able to be charged with murder because of, of the waiver that the people who went in that Titan submarine sign. But there is allegedly a way to once again try to get them in the negligence, because they were very negligent, of course. So there's going to be allegedly evidence of that, and you're going to hear a lot of experts talking, and there's going to be people coming out talking about what they said. And this company could get in big trouble, like gigantic. In consequences of that, like I said before, allegedly it's going to be hard to get them with murder and all that, but they could get this company and have some sort of like justice for, in the name of these victims, if they take them by the negligence and the shortcuts that is going to be very clearly in the paperwork and all of that. So allegedly it's going to be hard. Anybody connected to that company, even if they get fired or if they allegedly quit, it's going to be hard for them to find any job doing that, because that they gain a bad reputation, because allegedly even if they knew and they spoke up and they stayed, or even if they knew and they never spoke up, whatever happened, allegedly this is a bad rep for anybody connected to that company. And once again, it's going to be hard for them to find any company that really trusts them in any way, shape, or form. All the crew, I feel like there's a lot of like guilt connected to the employees. So this is a very sad scenario for the families, for the people who, passed away, and also for everybody. Like there's no win-win here. There's no like, what is the outcome? The outcome, the outcome. We saw the outcome. This is just an explanation of why things happen, is the things that they could have been avoided, and allegedly all of it, of course. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to go back and change time. But this is just allegedly what happened and what could happen. This company allegedly is going to get in trouble in a way to perform. It could take a lot of months, up to a year. But there's going to be some justice served, at least in a way to perform. Again, It won't change a thing, of course, but at least people or whoever's gonna try to prevent the company and or people like the people in the board to play with people's life and to risk it like that, because this is beyond. And yeah, that is what I see. So this is the end of the reading. Thank you for watching. If you lasted all the way to the end, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you want to follow me on IG and TikTok, it's going to be in the description box below. I tend to follow back on IG. I also am on Spotify, like I mentioned earlier. If you want to follow me on Spotify, I do post daily podcasts about multiple different episodes and, you know, topics. The description box below will be the place, as well as you can go to the comment section. What else? I also am open for personal reading, so if you want a personal reading with me, please make sure to go to the description box below and you're able to book with me. You can only book with me online. I want to remind you as well that I do not offer any free readings outside the giveaways, and I never message anybody on any platform offering my tarot reading services. As I said before, the only way you can book with me is through my website that I provide here on YouTube, as well as you can find my link to the same website in my official Instagram on the bio. So with this said, guys, thank you so very much. Have an amazing day, and